Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. I'm Bob Matthews. This is your one-stop shop for everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a day of it. All right, well, we have got some news that tangentially affects Terry McLaurin today, and that's where we're starting with rookies set to report here to training camp within the next 5 days. The Jets went ahead and made a big move on their star receiver, Garrett Wilson. Now, if you missed it, Wilson got an extension, and let's see, the exact number on it, I believe it was 4 years. Yeah, 4 years for $130 million, and it averages out. It gives them an average annual value of about $32.5 million a year. Okay, why is that important? Because now that sets a very recent target here for Terry, his agent, and of course, the club. Look for McLaurin now to get somewhere around, I would say, $33 million as an AAV. Now, of course, the way the salary cap works, I mean, what there is of it in the NFL, they can pad this thing. They can have voidable years that everybody knows he's never going to collect on, whatever, in order just to get that ego boost of, having a big upfront number there. But I think this is good news for Terry in that I think this means we're going to get, there is a number here. They can't really debate it anymore since, this just happened. I think you can compare the two of them. Obviously, Garrett Wilson is younger, but still, you can't argue with McLaurin's production over his entire professional career. So I think and I hope this will push them closer to a deal I hope we're going to get sometime this week. I've been looking at the calendar, and for me, not the drop dead date, but the date to really start worrying about this effect in the season, I think, is August 6th. That is when they are supposed to be, the Commanders, in Foxborough for a joint practice with the Patriots. If McLaurin has not gotten to camp by then possibly this thing could become an issue. But we've still got a couple of weeks till that can happen. And still, if I am putting money on it, I'd say right before camp, we finally get that deal. They've got to pay him the money. They just have to. That's just the way it is. It's one of those must-do things. All right, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN is starting his list season as we get closer to training camp. He has made a list of the top 11 players at each and every position, and he started with the quarterbacks, releasing that list on Monday. Jaden Daniels is number 5. That is very significant because it makes Daniels the highest-ranked quarterback in this survey in the NFC. And again, this is not just Jeremy Fowler's opinion. It's not just him, having an interpretation of statistics or whatnot. He went ahead and he surveyed league executives, coaches, and scouts in order to rank the top 10, not top 11, but top 10 at every position. Again, Jaden comes in at number 5 ahead of everybody else in the NFC. The top 5 are Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and then Jaden. And then after Jaden is Matt Stafford, then Justin Herbert of the Chargers, and then Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and Baker Mayfield. So you can see how top-heavy the AFC is in that. And it looks like, Jaden is just nipping at the heels of the 4 best quarterbacks in the game right now after his rookie season. I think it just goes to show you it's more evidence that people who know football say the Commanders have gotten this one right. They've got their franchise quarterback, a guy that is going to scare the ever-living hell out of the rest of the league for years to come. And as we have talked about before, when you have got that guy and he is elite, it gives you so much more room and margin for error at every other position out there. It is definitely someplace we have not been with this team in a while, and I think it's why this team is a legit Super Bowl contender. Hate to say it, as we go into training camp. I don't actually hate to say it. I just know that it's something that we have not been able to say for a long, long time. Nick Serriani has gotten into it again, calling BS and actually using the entire word when responding to some comments, I guess, from the talk shows or the chat channels and whatnot, saying that the rest of the Eagles roster carried Jalen Hurts to the Super Bowl last year. Well, hey, Hurts was ranked 9th as quarterbacks go, well behind Daniels. So, and you can make an argument for it. You really can. They leaned heavy on Saquon Barkley there down the stretch. And, Serriani, why he makes these comments, why he does this, I have no idea. Yeah, I understand. He wants to defend his players and everything, but that is just such a toxic environment in Philly. It takes nothing for that powder keg to explode, and all Serriani ever does is pour gas on the fire. You remember him getting into it with the fans. He doesn't leave himself a whole lot of room for error. I mean, Eagles may very well go 15-2, and everything is fine. But I tell you what, it's only going to take a 2 or 3 game losing streak for that thing to completely crater in Philadelphia. And Serriani saying, coming out and arguing about that does nothing but just pour gas on a smoldering fire. Not that I mind, however. And finally, we've got an update on RFK Stadium and the D.C. City Council putting its budget forward late on Sunday night. They're going to vote on it this week, and the money for the stadium is in the budget, $1 billion. Now, they are not going to pass that anytime this week. They are still having public hearings at the end of the month, but City Council President Phil Mendelson didn't exactly rule out when asked earlier today if he would, call the council back for a vote during their August recess. He didn't say he would, but he also didn't say he wouldn't after ruling it out previously. He left himself some wiggle room there. So I think it says to me that if these public hearings go well, if the politicians get the political cover they are looking for, I think they're going to vote on it. And obviously, I think they're going to vote yes. We shall see, though. It's going to be a very, very interesting August. That's going to do it for us. We got to get out of here. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button. Drop a comment below on any of these 4 topics or anything else you would like to. We'll try to get to some of them tomorrow. Remember, like the wise man once said, if you're on your bike tonight,